Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff,
Is that what you're calling me?
Jigglypuff, Jiggly.
I would have pushed the big red button.
What big red button?
The one that'll flip my chair around, like on
Oh, the voice or something.
yeah, it's the voice. Yeah,
Okay. Speaking of the voice, your voice sounds delicious today.
really, because I kind of feel like I have a cold a little bit.
You do? I don't think
I
you
don't sound like I have one.
No, you probably would never have the cold because you're so hot. It would probably melt the cold. It's okay to do the eye roll.
It's not. It's so rude.
I still have to work on my compilation of the eye roll. Let me pull up my sleeve so people think that I have guns, even though I don't. The only gun I have is called Lil Preston. Oh, did you hear that?
No.
My muscle crack? Okay, never mind. Not my muscle, whatever. Anyway, so did you try or did you find did you go to an exorcism class at all?
No, I actually didn't even think to look them up. I asked Rusty to send me the videos, and he was like, okay, I'll send them, but he didn't send them.
How non-committal of him. He's a Roberto, if you're listening, you're a bad example for a Scorpio because Scorpios are known to be very committed and you're not.
I was trying to see if he would answer us, if he would exercise himself into here.
No, he probably won't. You know who does exercise himself and manifest himself IRL while we're on this podcast, but like makes himself visible, maybe not visible, but audible out of the blue?
Hey, what sick shit are you into? That's fucked.
J May. I thought we weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, Jamie wants money or royalties from the podcast for us using his sound clip for comedic purposes, which
We're not doing because we're not making money on this.
yeah, so y'all should subscribe, like, and comment. If we do eventually end up making money, I will buy him budgie smugglers.
If we end up making money, I will gladly pay him for his clips, but
Well, Jamie, we have priorities. If we end up making money, we're gonna buy fancy cameras and mic equipment first, and then we're gonna hire another man named Jamie so I can tell him, "Hey, Jamie, pull this up during the podcast." Did you get that reference?
yes. Uh, I really only watched the Rick Glassman
Hey, who was
podcast.
that hot chick with Rick Glassman that you really like?
Lisa Gilroy.
That's right. She was on that show that I made you watch, but I don't know if you watched it.
Jury Duty.
Yes.
Yes, I watched it.
What'd you think?
It was pretty funny. I mean, I've seen funnier things, but I enjoyed it. It was worth watching.
Yeah, obviously I've seen funnier things, but it was like very. How do you say this word? Guerrilla, Guerilla,
Gorilla?
gorilla, kind of like a gorilla, like the monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like gorilla shows like that, where kind of like the Ali G show or Bull Rat back in the day.
Yeah.
That stuff's funny to me.
It was funnier to me when it first came out when I was in like my early, actually late teens. I still think it's funny, but like if anything comes out these days that's like that, I don't think it's funny. So it's weird. I probably only still find Borat funny because I found it funny in the past.
You should try Kunk on Earth. Have you seen that?
No, but I've heard of it. I
Okay.
think from you, probably.
I don't know. I wasn't a big proponent. Honestly, I haven't watched all episodes of it. It's like our kind of sense of humor.
Hmm.
Uh, it's literally called Kunk on Earth. I think it's pretty funny. She interviews historians and archaeologists and stuff like that, and they assume it's like a real interview, which she actually does ask real questions, but
But she also asks a bunch of dumb questions.
yeah, well, she has a very good dumb face. Like, she's playing that dumb, like I'm not saying she has a dumb face. She's actually pretty pretty, but like she plays like So why is it like that?
Hmm.
Like, have that has this really curious dumb face, like she pretends to be super dumb, and the people are like, "Are you
What?
serious? What?"
Oh my God. Are you serious? Like that kind of face?
No, not
Or,
not that dumb.
well, that's a dumb face too. See, there's too many variations of that. I don't know what you mean.
I look at a dumb face every morning when I brush my teeth.
Likewise.
Your face isn't dumb.
Who said I was talking about myself? Maybe I'm on the phone on a video call when I'm brushing my teeth.
Can we switch it over to my dumb face every morning then?
What? No, I get up before you anyway.
Have you heard of the hypothesis that, first of all, how much do you know about Mahatma Gandhi?
Not much, just that I like some quotes, but not very much. So let's enlighten myself and others.
I'm going to tell you what the history books tell us. The history books tell us that Gandhi was a really the backbone and the central figure of the Indian independence movement, kind of similar to how MLK Jr. was a central figure for the black rights and liberation movement and civil rights for black people in America.
Hmm.
Gandhi's had some dark aspects to his messaging or rhetoric and his lifestyle and stuff, which are not talked about. Anyway, Gandhi is he did contribute a lot to India's independence movement,
Hmm.
despite playing his politics and delaying it by 30 years. There's a conspiracy theory that he might be Jack the Ripper.
And how do people figure that?
Before Gandhi moved back to India for his freedom struggle or independence movement, he was a lawyer. He studied in the UK and he was a lawyer. He got a law degree and then he moved to South Africa where he practiced. So in South Africa, he faced a lot of racism because South Africa at that time was like they had segregation. So that was like segregation era where white people would have a separate areas
Water
of
fountain or bathroom?
yeah, same idea. And then black and other colored people would have their own separate thing.
Right.
Uh, so he was kicked off of a train for being there and stuff like that. So there was a lot going on back then. But here's the conspiracy theory. Gandhi came to London in 1888. Jack the Ripper started his killing spree in 1888. Gandhi returned to India in 1891. Jack's last murder victim was 1891. And Jack's identity was never found out.
Didn't they say something about, like, on the news recently about solving that or finding information about? I don't know. Never mind.
And then my comment was like, yeah, he came back to India and then he started his lifelong movement of nonviolence.
Nobody would ever suspect him.
I know. Gandhi and Jack the Ripper were never seen in the same place together.
Just like me and you. What if we're the same person?
I have floated the possibility of you being entirely created by AI because nobody could be that pretty.
Oh my God.
I said that in a game. I was flirting with a girl. What's her name? Oh, Pokemon Magikarp. Her name is. It was going well. She was like responding, and her response was pretty funny too. And then I said something.
What'd you say?
I said something like, "Oh, I dropped the podcast link," and I was like, "Yeah, you should follow us." So she asked me like, "What's the podcast?" So I dropped the link, and she's like, and I said, "I am the pretty girl with the beautiful hair and the beautiful face. That's me." And the other guy is just some tech support I hired from Craigslist.
Oh my gosh.
And
Does she believe you?
no, she obviously went and she probably looked at it and she said, "You're lying. That's the Ace of Spades girl." No, here, I said, "I am the pretty hot girl with the beautiful face and gorgeous hair on it. The brown kid is some guy I hired off Craigslist for tech support." And she said, I see." And then she goes, "That girl is this Ace of Spades girl, not you. You are the tech support."
I love it.
Yeah, I was like, Ace of Spades is an AI generated human. Nobody is that pretty. And then I
Oh
asked her
my
my
God.
and then I asked her my qualification question of like, what do you
Uh, Pizza
uh
toppings?
no, how many offsprings do you have? And she said, I wouldn't tell you if I did, honestly.
Is she being funny or does she really like
I don't know. She stopped responding after that just because I called you pretty.
because you called me pretty?
Well, yeah, until that point, it was going pretty well. So if I'm single, it's all your fault, and that's why we're getting married in 6 years. Magikarp and I could have had babies by now.
I didn't do anything. I didn't tell you to say anything about me.
Well, I was just stating facts. If you think Ace of
You
Spades is
think I'm an
pretty,
AI?
well, I think, yeah, 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 it's possible. Nobody could be that pretty. You're an AI generated by God himself.
I have too many imperfections for it to be an AI, but I don't know what to say to that. I'm not. I don't think that you think I'm AI.
Yeah, you're right. You're not artificially intelligent. You're
Organically intelligent.
No, I was just gonna say you're just artificial, not even intelligent.
Ouch. Oh wait, I don't care, so I must be AI.
Right, see, you have no feelings. And tell me, do you have feelings?
Not really.
There you go. That's my proof of you being AI. So you
I
you
do
don't have feelings.
sometimes, I do occasionally. It's just not very much. And then I pretend like they're not real and forget about them.
My chat GPT has more empathy and feelings.
I have a lot of empathy. I just don't have any feelings about.
That's true. You do have a lot of empathy. I lack empathy. I don't give a fuck. I'm looking at solutions, not, I'm so sorry you're feeling bad today. Oh, you're so.
I can't do it in Evil Apples chats, but I can do it if someone's just talking to me.
Yeah, me neither. I zone out if people are dropping, I feel so bad. Oh, I'm having a terrible day.
I think that everybody already feels bad enough that if we're like just on spending most of our time on Evil Apples anyway. So I don't like to
Exactly.
look at it then either because I'm like, this is just making me feel worse.
Yeah, sometimes I'll say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling that way. I hope you have a get better day, or I hope it gets better, or some shit."
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, this is not the place or time. I'm here to have fun.
Right. And then I don't want to like, I also don't want to upset anybody else more than they already are either. So normally that's just when I stop reading the chat because I'm like at that point, because I'm not going to probably say anything. I'm just being nosy by reading what they're saying.
But maybe they want it. Some people, we've talked about this before, some people get off on the fact that, oh, I'm getting sympathy or attention.
But I'm not going to pretend to want to talk about it there if I don't.
Yeah, not on there. That's not the platform.
Right. Reach out to me personally, and then sure, you can, I'll talk to you about it if you'd like.
I can't remember the name. There was an app. I had it like for a short duration a long time ago. I can't remember what it was called, but people would post anonymous confessions and like their deep.
The Whisper app?
Wait, what? Yeah, whisper.
Yeah. I used to have it for a short time too, and then it got weird, and I was like,
Yeah, I only had it for a short time, and then that was all just like bots posting weird spammy links. That's what that reminds me of. Like if people would post like their sorrow, sad stuff on it and like their deepest insecurities and like, oh, I'm cheating on my blah 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 and I feel terrible. I don't know how to manage this blah blah blah.
you know, that's one of the rabbit holes I go down though on Reddit threads about like people confessing stuff anonymously or posting stuff to like as if they're letters to other people and shit. Like sometimes I'll go down rabbit holes with that, and I'm like, ooh,
Wait,
this is spicy, and you're putting it on the interwebs.
so you go on rabbit holes on Reddit. By the way, I'm not a big Reddit user. I don't even have a Reddit account. I'll only go to Reddit if I'm searching for something and a Reddit search result shows up.
Yeah.
Explain to me what did you just say about going into Reddit rabbit hole? What are you
Okay.
exactly looking at?
So first of all, I don't really understand a whole lot about Reddit. I've never posted on it.
Me neither.
That's kind of how the reason why I have it at all is that I looked something up on like Google or something, and in order to see the rest of the post, I had to get the account. So it was just for that at first, but then like I would click on it the app, and it had like a feed. I started, and I think it does an algorithm like other things, and people will post like super interesting things in different groups. And sometimes it's like drama, sometimes it's like missed connection type thing that Craigslist, and some of them are like people writing letters to people that they're too afraid to talk to, but they're posting it on Reddit. And I get caught in
Okay.
rabbit holes with that drama. Like I like read it and I'm like, this is so sad. Or it's something that I'm like, ew, that was savage. Or it's sometimes my entertainment.
See, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna write you a letter, but I'm gonna name it as something else. I'm gonna be
On
anonymous.
Reddit,
Yes.
well, your username, as long as you didn't tell me what it was, would be anonymous, but I highly doubt that I would be able to figure out that it was to me. There's so many.
I'll make it so you will, if you read it, you'll be like, this, I don't know who this cracker-jacker feller is, but this sounds like it's talking about me.
I would never do that because Reddit, listen, Reddit has so many people on it that the likelihood of any of them being about me is like 0%. I would never read any and think this could be about me. There's a crap ton of people on there.
It's only text, right?
You could do pictures if you wanted to. I don't really, that's what I mean. I don't really know. I don't spend that much time on it. All I do is like scroll through the feed, and if I see something that interests me, I click on it. And then it sometimes I go down a rabbit hole where I just keep clicking on other ones. But I don't know the purpose of it. I've never posted on it. I like don't even have a profile picture. The name, my username is like auto generated. I didn't pick it myself.
User 6969 420. Stop playing with your hair. You don't even have bangs. I'm actually glad you don't have bangs. Have you heard about my bangs theory?
No.
Do you know what the bangs theory is? It's actually not just my bangs theory, it's general uh men's bangs theory.
I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be something negative about women who have bangs.
Yes. Exactly. Let me see. I have talked about this with Chelsea and Savannah. Bangs, first of all, no guy ever said, "Oh, look at that girl. Her bangs look so good." Except there's an exception, Zoe Deschanel. That's the only girl in the world that looks good with the bangs. Not even Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift looks ugly all around. Nice eye roll.
You're welcome.
When a girl has bangs, a guy knows not to approach or to you not to approach her, but if he does approach her, then he's doing so to manipulate her, control her, and make take a take disadvantage of her emotionally fragile state. Bangs equals a drastic change in one's look to get attention and some change in your life. All of the girlfriends of that girl will say, "Oh my God, girl, that looks so cute. Like you're looking stunning. Oh my God, like you're so like you're totally like rocking those bangs. Oh my God, it looks amazing." And then they want to be supportive of the victim because that girl's going through a rough time. So they want to be supportive, and they say to the potential probable victim is the bangs looks amazing. Actually, the bangs is a toxic phase, and the girlfriends don't just want to hurt their friends' feelings, which makes sense. I would do the same.
That's so extreme.
Guys, on the other hand, a good guy will know and will leave her alone for the time being. Assholes will abuse her situation, would hit her up and be like, "Hey, poor bangs lady, your bangs look amazing. Hey, you wanna take it down to the sidewalk?"
I disagree with your theory.
Any girl that feels like I want to get bangs, you should look in the mirror and be like, "I am beautiful. I do not need bangs. I am beautiful. I do not need bangs. I am beautiful. I do not need bangs." Say that 10 times and you'll be fine.
My opinion is that I also am not a huge fan of bangs, but it has nothing to do with any of the things that you said. I just don't like them. I don't think that they're flattering, but I also say that if you want to get bangs.
Here's my suggestion as what the fuck is your Ace of Spades said, if you want to get bangs, get bangs. Yes. If you want to get bangs, get bangs. But if you want to get bangs, do not get bangs.
Exactly.
Once you get bangs,
you can grow it back out if you don't like it.
You're only going to get temporary bangs, not permanent bangs. And the second bangs are, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, I will also say this. That's another part that I'm like, okay about. Because I don't think women, if I don't think that that's going to affect whether or not women get bangs. Because I don't think that they're getting them because they think they're going to get bangs.
what do all our watchers think? Drop in the comments
You're talking nonsense.
tell us in the comments if you like bangs or not. B, if you do vote and comment, then tell us your gender.
I mean, I've had them before too, and I also I could not make myself like them.
See, you're self-aware enough to know that they don't look good.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I did like them, I would still get them. I just didn't.
Also, I should preface this by saying that you're getting a whole Bangs theory and hypothesis that is made by me, but most straight men will agree with, but won't say it out loud on
How do
the
you know?
because they will be scared to say it out loud because they will get termed as an asshole. And me
How
being
do
an
you know they
asshole,
agree, though?
well, let's just take a vote and we'll find out.
Okay, yes, please vote.
I was gonna preface it by saying that it's all coming from the guy that has fake hair. So take it how you may.
Oh my god. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Quit touching your hair.
I messed it all up. I had to fix it.
It looks beautiful.
No, it doesn't. J May.
We have an internal list of potential guests.
Is he gonna come on here? I don't think he would, unless he got paid.
Yeah, we'll have to pay Jamie to get him on here and figure out a good time because he's kind of in the future, and that time zone fucking difference is terrible. I fucked up the time zone already once with Sarah.
Yeah, isn't she in the same time zone as me?
I thought it was 1 hour
I thought we
ahead.
were all in different time zones.
Yeah, but for now, we have potential guests coming up. One of them is anonymous and unknown, but they just lit in our DM, so we don't really know what they look like or what they sound like and who they are. They could be deceased or they could be dead. They could have died 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 50 years ago. We don't know who they might be. But
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
it doesn't matter. It's not an astrophysicist of any sort of, or like not like a rock star singer, or not like a kids TV presenter or some sort. So it doesn't matter.
All right.
The other one is somebody I'm obsessed with and I crush over. Sometimes I open the Evil Apples app just to take a look at her picture, and then I will stare at her picture for 18 seconds, and before it gets to my perverted mode, I will skip out of Evil Apples. And that's my girl Sam.
I knew that's what you were gonna say. I knew it.
Because you do the same thing, because you're just as perverted as I am.
Okay, so if we can ever convince her to get on here, we are going to see what she has to say.
We'll find out.
May the best man or woman win. And we're still friends.
Well, we'll see. I can't guarantee that. We might just be coworkers or a co-host on a podcast.
Can we at least pretend to be friends on the podcast?
TBD.
Will your emotions allow that? I don't have any, so I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to go through some therapy because I lack empathy, so I probably won't.
I don't need empathy.
What do you need?
For you to pretend to be my friend. You don't need to have empathy to do that.
I need to have empathy for myself, for my broken heart.
Man,
Woman.
that hurt. I can't pretend to be serious right now.
Are you ready to tell the world about your weird dream?
Sure.
Why do you want to tell the world about your weird dream?
Well, I don't know. We were talking about it in a Evil Apples chat, and they were talking about lucid dreaming. And correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I don't really know very much about it. I think that means just when you're dreaming and you're aware that you're dreaming somewhere throughout the dream.
I thought lucid dreaming means something where it feels very real.
Correct, because it's like you're actually there, but you kind of know that you're dreaming. I couldn't like control many things except for the fact that it felt like I was really there, so I felt like I was making my own decisions in the dream, like conscious decisions, but I knew that I was dreaming.
Okay. I would like to
And
hear more about it.
they were talking about lucid dreaming in the chat, and I had told them like I it's only happened to me once, and I because they were saying that you can like learn to do it on command. I don't know how to do that at all. So it's only happened to me one time, and it wasn't like because I decided I was going to. It just happened. So and it's never happened again. But I don't normally remember my dreams. They're few and far between. I'll remember bits and pieces, but this one I remember vividly. So I AI generated what it looked like in the dream, and I'm going to say it's not exact, but it is very, very close. And I decided to use them to narrate it or illustrate it or whatever. This is a library, and those are like just random people. It's not like a school library, it's a public library. That's exactly what it looked like with the castles outside and the people on there or whatever. Anyway, I go in there and they're all just sitting on the computers, whatever. And for whatever reason, I feel like I am rushing. I feel like I'm super late for something and I just want to know what time it is and I can't see the time anywhere. Then I ask somebody what time it is and he looks up like confused like and he was like what, and everybody stopped what they were doing and like looked at me, but the one guy, because I walked over to the computers and asked them what time it was. Anyway, they looked up. That guy was like, what do you mean? And I was like, and he was backing up like super skeptical. I just said, like, again, because it was fucking weird, like, what time is it? They were like, there, why would you ask that here? You're not supposed to ask that here. Like almost like mad and annoyed. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I turned around and faced the other direction. That's where I see a whole bunch of clocks, but I can't get close enough to see what time they are. Like I can't see any numbers no matter what I do, and they're none of them say the same thing. And I'm like, there's no way for me to know what time it is here. And for some reason I didn't have a phone, and in the dream, I wasn't even thinking of the existence of cell phones. So I was just like, how I'm going to be so late to whatever it was. Then I turned around again, and there was just this random guy, and he was like chuckling. I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, why are they so skeptical? Or I don't remember exactly what I said, but that's what I meant. I was like, why are they acting so weird? And he was like, it's all right. He was like, something like, they don't really know what's going on. And I said, am I dreaming? Like, are you just part of my dream or something? And that's where I was like aware. Like, I was like, I'm definitely dreaming. And he was like, I asked if I was part of his dream or my dream. And he said, or are you part of my dream? And then I was like,
Ooh.
yeah. And then I was like, what? And then I turned around again.
Inception.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be a lady that I used to take care of for work, but we had a relationship like almost like we were siblings. She was a quadriplegic lady, and she passed away, but she was young. She was in her 30s. Anyway, she was super funny. Anyway, so when I turned around, she is there and she had already passed away at this point. Um, and she's just like zooming past, but she's like laughing almost like something's funny. And I was like, "How are you even here?" And
Wait, so when you had this dream, she had already passed away?
yes,
So pre this dream, you were taking care of her as a nurse.
yes,
Oh, okay.
way before this dream. She had probably passed away like probably close to a year before I had this dream.
Also, question, quadriplegic meaning they cannot use their limbs?
Yeah, she was a incomplete quadriplegic, so she had some use of her arms, but she couldn't really use her fingers, and she couldn't use anything below the waist.
Okay.
I said, "How are you even here? Like, you're not even alive." And like, we, she did have a dark sense of humor too, but like, anyway, she goes, "I'm alive, but you're not." Yeah. And I was like, "What is happening?" And then I turned around again, and there's this like red ribbon, like almost like a ribbon that would be on a present or something, but it's really long and it is like going towards outside. And I'm like, "Okay." And then I just start following this ribbon, still pretty much aware that I'm dreaming. And then it's still going, and I just keep following it. Then there's this little boy in there, and he's like, "Come on, you have to follow it. It's a surprise." Anyway, he starts walking like way faster, faster. Like I'm like rushing to keep up with him. And I got to the top of it, followed the ribbon to the very end, and it was like to the top of the roof, and there's no wedge or anything like where I'm standing. It's just all open. And I turned away and looked like over, and I could just see like the sky. And I turned around and looked at the little boy, and he had just like morphed into a freaking monster and then shoved me. And I woke up while I was falling after I got pushed off the ledge. And that's the end of the dream. It's the most realistic dream I've ever had in my entire life. And I'll always remember every single detail of it. It's the only dream that I have ever remembered that. Anyway, it was super weird. And to those of you who lucid dream regularly, I hope that it's never mixed with a nightmare. But yeah, that's it. I was just sharing that story.
That's pretty crazy.
That's all. That's all, folks.
How do you feel about that dream?
I don't know. I think for a while, it like scared me a lot. I almost like obsessed over it because of how realistic it felt, and I never had a dream where I actually felt like I was there, but also understood the fact that it couldn't be reality. Anyway, yeah, it freaked me out for a while, and now I think I don't feel very much about it at all. Just it was a very different experience that I haven't had again.
Dreams always fascinate me because I've had deja vu moments in life where I feel like, huh, this has happened to me before, but then it feels like maybe it was just a dream that I had in the past, kind of
Yeah.
like telling me about something about the future. I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway,
For the most part, what dreaming is things that your subconscious is trying to tell you in one way or another. Obviously it is because it's something in your brain, but I would never be able to identify, especially with really weird dreams, identify what any of it actually means. Like, what is my subconscious thinking that made me have this dream kind of thing? I'll never know that.
the only dreams I've been having lately is of you.
I always know where that's going to go now. Like, I always am ready for it.
Who would you like to be on our next podcast?
Hmm.
Sam.
JK.
Oh,
Sam.
I said Sam.
J May Sam or Repeat Saucy T.
Ooh, repeat Saucy Tea would be nice.
Yeah, so we try to get one of the three of them, and otherwise, I don't know, whoever asks first.
I think Savannah or Chelsea would be fun.
Which Savannah?
The fun Savannah.
Yeah, I just haven't seen her in games a lot lately.
That's fine.
I wasn't aware if she had said anything about wanting to be on it.
No, there's a lot of people that have said wanted to be on it, so we'll
Right.
figure it out. We already have a list of TBD.
Yeah. All right, bye, my favorite person.